So the craziest thing about the timeline that we're on right now is that we've been warned about it for years. And I want to show you what's going on and sort of where we're at. First, this is Eric Trump, so kid of Donald Trump. And he says, mining for America. And what is this? This is a data center Bitcoin mining operation thing, right? You can see right there. And how do you get people to go along with how awesome crypto and Bitcoin is? You put American flag on it, of course, right? When in doubt, put that American flag on there and say, guys, this is America. This is American crypto, American Bitcoin. We're mining for the country. Show your patriotic mission, right? And then if that doesn't work, then you throw a bunch of military flags on there. This is actually from Eric Trump. Can't make this crap up. And then he goes out and he makes a video, and I've showed this several times on the channel. Basically, he's bragging that we're using American power and how awesome is Bitcoin mining, and it's the future, bro. And so it's so bizarre that anyone goes along with this, because while they're building these, Bitcoin things that are eating up all this power to make this basically fake money, however you want to call it, they're taking your power, they're taking your jobs. And then what did they expect you to do? Well, you're going to drink Trump vodka, of course. For real. This is actually from Eric Trump today, from Trump family. Trump vodka, the great American spirit. Like these two things put together show you where we're at. Data centers justified by American flags. No job, no power, but you got an American flag. And when you feel sad, you get drunk on Trump vodka, right? We're going to get drunk on Trump vodka, celebrating our data centers. And then that takes us into the Squid Game world. Like we're watching the prequels. I am just waiting for the games to be announced, because Donald Trump, he had the military parade. We're having the UFC fights at the White House next year. I'm just waiting for the announcement. You know what? At this point, I just want to know, how much is the prize money going to be, right? Just tell us, Trumps, what's this prize money going to be? We all need to compete for the billionaires' entertainment. That's what this ends up being. And if you saw these kind of movies, and I'm pointing stuff out, I said we've been warned about this stuff for years, because we totally have been. This is why I mention movies all the time. Like these old movies or books. I think this was on a book also, is predictive of the future. And this one was warning, about HAL 9000. What if the robots control everything, right? You want to open up the hatch doors, like, sorry, Dave, afraid you can't do that. Or what about Terminator, where you got basically Arnold, and robots fighting each other. And essentially the story, if you know Terminator, someone comes from the future, effectively warns you, is like, hey, don't build robots, don't do it. It's like we've all seen these movies, right? I mean, and for some people, like Elon Musk and all his followers, they just look at the shooting. I like guns, right? But don't actually listen to message of any of these movies, and that's why I always stress this stuff. So like in Squid Game, the average person's like, oh, look, I like that game, but they don't think of the actual message is you're all competing for rich people's entertainment, right? And they're just laughing at you while they put American flags on it and then take your power and take your jobs. It's nuts. So I bring this stuff up today because this is the news today. Chicago data center overheated and shut down trade in key markets across the globe. Right, this thing was down for 10 hours. It affected multiple financial trackers. So you had the U.S. stocks and indexes, right? The futures on that. Treasuries are in this thing, crude oil, and more. Basically, you couldn't trade. And it says here the temperature in the building hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So really, really hot. Down for 10 hours. And this is something that has also been going on this week. And it's something that I was just thinking about, why now? Right? We had the Cloudflare outage. So several websites were down around the world. We also had the Amazon web service outage, right? If you guys have been surfing the net, I mean, you would know these things. Things were down this month. Like this is like the last 10 days. This was dated November 18th. So it's like about 10 days ago, right? So you have a trading, center down. This is just today, November 28th, and then something else 10 days ago. And it's like, what's going to be next? And I'm starting to wonder, are we putting too much strain on the grid, be it with all this AI stuff, be it our power needs, be it with all the, Bitcoin stuff that Eric Trump is slapping American flags on, right? Or do we have too much demand on the grid? And also this week, which I just talked about with four of you guys, watch my video on this if you haven't, the Trump people, they issued this thing that got called the Genesis mission. It doesn't even sound real. It's so crazy. And everything keeps getting more and more whacked out. And when you call them out on their BS, now the Trump people just announced today, this is the White House, that they have this new website to track fake news. And they're basically just going to call anything that tells you what's going on or what they're doing as fake news. and If you go against them, they'll try to blackmail you. This is from the EU. They're saying top EU official accuses US of blackmail in trade talks. Basically, what this boils down to is the US wants Europe and other countries to remove any kind of protections or regulations on big tech companies. That's basically what this whole thing boils down to, right? And then they try to blackmail you if you don't want to. And I just, I want you to think about some of these kind of things. Just for example, do you want tech companies to take all of your data whenever they want and do whatever they want with it? Or do you want regulations on that kind of stuff, on your data, be it location data, financial data, DNA data, whatever? I'm just giving you one example. There's multiple examples where we need to, in my opinion, like have some safeguards in place. Another one, which is really important, and many people commented on this when we talked about this before. This is basically where there are a lot of kids and teenagers that are treating AIs like their friend. It's basically what it boils down to, right? Teens are saying tearful goodbyes to their AI companions. And someone brought up a really good point. I just want to be sensitive on the topic because this actually really matters. Because when you first on the surface, you're like, why would anyone want to be friend with an AI, right? But you have to remember, and I completely understand, and I write my book about this, like if you're in a situation where you don't have anyone around you that is a good role model, or you have a lot of people around you that bully you for any number of reasons, right? Any number of reasons, or people around you that don't have any kind of answers that you ask. Because when you're young, and it's not even just young, just all the time, like people have questions. Like, what about this? What about this? Why do people tell me these things? And, why do people effectively, be mean to you for any number of reasons? And so then you search for answers, which is a natural thing that humans do. And the AI is the way that they talk to kids these days. It's kind of like friend in a way. It's like the all-knowing friend. And so you would definitely want protections on this stuff, because what if all-knowing friend, whatever the AI, however you want to talk about it, like with the whole teddy bear incident recently, was telling kids where to get knives and these kind of things. Like, no, serious, it was really whacked out stuff. And it gets really, really scary if we don't control this stuff. And also if we put people in charge of it who are just in it for the profits, to be perfectly frank. I made a video about this before. Melania and Trump's basically like, hey, how can we get more AI in schools? And basically their whole plan is, how can we basically just fire all the teachers, have one central AI teach everyone everything, and I guess we just follow the dear leader AI. And yes, it really is that whacked out if you read through all the stuff. It's crazy. That's why I have to build up to you guys to understand what's going on, because if I just told you one of these things by itself, it doesn't really make sense. Like why would we want these data centers, and what's this internet money thing, and why are we putting American flags on it? It's stupid, right? But you're conditioning people to go along with this crap, like over and over again, and you have all these fake promises they're all going to be rich or whatever, and then for example, in the AI situation, I guess if you really want to, you can make fake movies of you skiing or hanging out with your favorite celebrities. So people like to do that these days, is make lots of fake photos. It's everywhere. And we need to know though is that all this stuff is based on debt. It's crazy. This just came out today, and how big is this bubble? I mean, that's the question. We keep getting bigger numbers after my check. OpenAI partners mass 100 billion debt pile to fund its ambitions. So what this is multiple companies. They mentioned SoftBank, Oracle, CoreWeave. So it says these three have borrowed at least 300 billion to invest in the startup or help build its data centers. And then you got Blue Owl Capital, and I have a feeling that's not the last we're gonna hear of Blue Owl Capital. I think they're tied to Meta also. We talked about this before. And so essentially the strategy is, and actually they even tell you, listen to this. This is from OpenAI. They even tell you the strategy. That's been kind of the strategy. How does OpenAI leverage other people's balance sheets, right? So what you want to do is you convince all these other people to go take out loans to give you money to use your technology, and they don't have to have the loans on your books, right? That was whole Meta's thing. And then you make whatever deals with each other, and it's all about circular financing. It's absolutely insane, and it's interesting because more and more reporting is coming out on this stuff. As man, I tell you, it's crazy when the trading, basically data center shuts down, and then just websites don't work, and that's just 3 big incidents this month. And I'm actually quite concerned. And then you have all these crazy debts and loans. I'm just showing you the chart. You can see it for yourself. If you haven't seen this movie already, please do. It's called Margin Call. It's quite good. Basic gist of it is when you're in the financial space, you got access to a bunch of information. Are people actually indeed paying back the loans? And what if you find out that they're not? This is the great financial crisis. Like, and so then what do you do? And essentially the story is, cheat your friends basically. And it's really well done. Or check out this movie called Default. It's a Korean movie. It's kind of similar version to either Big Short or Margin Call, that kind of movie if you like financial movies. But I'm just mentioning this stuff for some people. You need to see these things for yourself to experience it in that kind of way. Because if I just, show you these kind of things, it doesn't really make sense. Maybe the connections don't hit there. How, like, if I show you this picture of like the data center taking your power, it's not like the data center is like literally walking to your house and the big, building, takes your power in that way. It's sort of this, how to say it. You may see your bill go up, but you won't know like exactly why. Or you may see blackouts at your house, but like you don't know exactly why, because the data center could be miles from you or whatever. The same way that when the website goes down or whatever, you're just like, okay, so what's going on? Like what literally you try to Google and you can't even Google because the website's down. I think the major problem that I was thinking about today, and I just wanted to emphasize it, say with this AI companion thing or people over reliance on computers and stuff like that. Our system today and the way the American education system is, and many Americans, they've lost the ability to think. It's really a problem. They need to be told what to think, right? And people actually get mad if I don't tell you what to think. Seriously, you see it in comments. Chris, just tell me what to think. I need someone to tell me what to think. And it's like, man, this is whacked out. It's totally whacked out. And so that's why I emphasize so many times, guys. I look at stuff together. I want to hear your opinions on stuff. I don't want to just tell you what to think. I tell you what I think, and then we have a conversation about it. That's what this is. I don't want to tell you what to think. But you have a lot of young people out there that need to be told what to think. They need to be told what to wear. They need to be told what the popular stuff is. They need to be told what to buy. Seriously, we talked about before these like AI now shopping bots. Essentially, what it is. All the companies are coming out with it because people need to be told what to buy. It's crazy, and you put that together with like the culture that we're in right now, to where essentially the Trump people tell you nonstop, don't believe don't believe your eyes, don't believe any sort of reality, just only believe us. You see it. It's all in the conditioning. You're conditioning people to be a bunch of docile follower drones. I don't know how else to say it. I know I try not to be too mean, but I need to tell you guys the truth on stuff. I knew this stuff was happening, but it's really accelerating. And we're at a combination of like massive financial bubble plus massive tech bubble, and we don't have enough energy, and people are losing their jobs. It's not going to end well. I can't tell you exactly, when the whole thing is going to pop. I mean, that's hard to predict the exact day, but you can see it coming a mile away. It's just not sustainable. There's only so many flags you can hang up. How many flags do you need to hang up when people have no jobs and sitting in the dark, right? And how many bottles of vodka do you need to drink? I guess is the question before you wake up to your senses. Who knows? Maybe some people never wake up. Maybe there's like, man, Trump vodka. That's the solution. I don't know, but we're gonna keep track of this stuff together and hopefully keep each other sane. I do appreciate your time, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next video.